Welcome to the Open Books Podcast, where we discuss all things going on in the real estate industry, helping you take the road less traveled to real estate success, guiding you to the top
10%.
10%. I'm your co-host, Curtis Haddock, alongside my amazing co-host, Casey Tudor and Brooke Massey. Good morning, you guys.
That was
Good morning.
a great announcement, Curtis.
Thank you. It wasn't even an announcement.
He's been
It was
practicing.
just an intro, you know? I wish I had an announcement to make. Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Man, we're good.
It's early morning. I'm tired.
Well, wake up. Let's drink some more coffee.
This episode is brought to you by coffee.
Well, we better get a sponsorship from coffee now.
Oh my gosh, if we did that, we wouldn't have to do a podcast.
Anyone will
I
do.
know.
Any coffee bean will do.
Yes,
Any
it will.
coffee bean will do.
Comment in the post.
No, it
your
won't.
Favorite.
I used to work at the grocery store, so I'll be the judge of which coffee.
No,
is
I agree.
yours.
Wait, you used to work in a grocery store?
Not at all.
No, I don't think anyone knew that.
My vote's for Nespresso.
They totally did.
My vote's for Nespresso.
Your what's depressed?
Nespresso.
Oh, man. Nespresso is a totally different
I don't
ballgame.
think
That's what I got into.
You got
Yeah.
into Nespresso?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh my, did you
That's why
buy
I said
one
I
of
spent
those?
more money on that than I did energy drinks.
I mean, those things are expensive.
It's really good though.
Oh no, they're so good.
Aren't they like,
I get excited.
what exactly is a Nespresso? What is that?
It's essentially it's a
espresso.
Keurig brand.
But it's an espresso? What
Yeah,
Well, you can
you
make
make it.
espresso with it. You buy the pods, and it based on the shape of the pod, it knows like how much to make.
Curtis,
So you
you
just
would not
put the-
like it.
No, I was
No,
gonna say,
you
'cause
wouldn't
it's-
like
it's
even the
highly
coffee.
because it's highly concentrated
Oh,
like
it's
coffee, right?
It's so intense.
Well, I don't like espresso, so I highly doubt I would like a Nespresso.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's all. It's just all. It's an espresso with an N.
I would love that sponsorship.
They're little things because I love going to like hotels and resorts and stuff, and then they have them. I'm like, yes!
Yeah.
It's like the best thing while you're on vacation for a quick pick me up.
Because even just a normal cup of coffee, it froths it.
Yes.
So you have this like thick froth on it, and it's like,
Oh, so
man,
amazing.
I would have to pay $6 for this somewhere,
Yeah.
and I only
100%.
paid $2.
Yeah, well, it's still expensive.
Yeah, especially when you drink like 4 of them.
Oh man, but they're so good.
Yeah.
they're
In case-
so good.
and if you
but
guys-
the little machine is like alone is like $200.
I got mine myself for 108.
I don't doubt that. Oh, I do doubt that. I'm just kidding. That's pretty good, Casey.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Why
But
didn't you send me the
I got it for Christmas.
last year?
No, this year.
Oh,
for yourself?
Well, no, that's what Claire bought me for Christmas. But since I was trying to get off the energy drinks,
She got it to you early.
she's like, let's just go ahead and do that. I'm like, I think that's probably fair.
So don't complain on
I
Christmas
love-
Day when you.
I won't because I'll be drinking a coffee.
I love
No, you won't.
adult.
You'll be drinking Nespresso.
Well, right.
I love
Exactly.
adult
Now-
Christmases because you just get Christmas whenever you want.
Yeah, try buying for my wife who buys everything she ever wants.
Oh yeah, we
And-
don't do presents for each other.
and
that
by the
much.
time you guys are listening to this episode, it'll be Easter.
That's right.
So we'll need to post this one fairly quickly. In case you guys didn't know, coffee is an essential part of being a real estate agent.
that
I
is
would
so
agree.
true. That and having a Mac.
You gotta have.
I agree 100%.
I just say a
If you
computer.
don't have coffee and a MacBook and an iPhone and an iPad, you are failing.
Oh, so that's a great segue. Brett,
It is actually
Because
Yeah, that's what we're talking about
I didn't even
today.
try
How-
that.
because today we're talking about real estate technology and how it's transforming the industry. And I just in the last few days have had to help someone who had a PC. And I'm not knocking them. I just don't care to use them because if there's an issue with it, I can't fix it. And so,
It's usually the other way around, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
oh,
but
100%.
anyway, these people, I've had 2 people recently that bring me these HPs and like, it won't even, nothing will even load on it. And they're like, well, it's brand new. And I'm like, it's garbage. And I think the thing is where a PC gets you is they make very, very affordable models, but in just a few months, they're already ran down.
Yes.
You have to spend the money on it.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to say this because I have a different opinion about this stuff.
But you also have a Mac.
I know. Well, that's why I would like. I think what I have to say is going to be very, very important.
Oh, I'm
Oh
sure.
gosh,
So
his head's getting bigger.
no, I think for me having a Mac and what you said, an iPad, iPhone, like, and being able to connect all of it, like, is super, super helpful. the Mac was intimidating to me at first because it's a whole new operating system, and I still to this day I'm like, wait, how do I do that? But I think I'm asking you the first year I was like, how do I do that? And you didn't even know how to do a lot of the stuff I was asking you.
Didn't need it,
but you just kind of figure it out, or you Google it. But here's my thing. So I had a PC before, and so anytime that someone needs help with it, just ask me, and I might be able to help them with it.
Noted.
Noted.
I still remember.
Call Curtis.
I still remember quite.
Yeah, you can have all those people.
No guarantee I'm gonna fix it.
That's crazy how you remember it, because I used to be so good at Windows, but then as soon as I switched to Mac, I'm like
same.
I can't. I just don't know.
It takes me a minute. It takes me a minute to like relearn how to navigate, but I still remember most of how it operates. I'm not a computer genius that can fix any problem, so like I'm not saying I'll be able to do that. I'm just saying I might be able to help look at it better than you can.
I believe it.
If not, ask ChatGPT.
Or that, yeah. But my point is that I don't think that you have to have a Mac or you're gonna fail. I do think that it's superior to like what Casey is saying, and like as far as just spend the money. My Mac has lasted. It lasts forever.
It'll last 7 to 10 years.
Well,
I don't ever have to get any kind of antivirus software or anything like that.
You don't have to know how to write code.
Like was that like a common misconception or something?
No, I'm just saying.
You just be a smarty pants.
Yeah. If you use a PC, you have to know how to write code.
No, you don't.
I know it's a joke.
Okay.
I was talking to one of my team leads.
Well, hold on, I'm not done. Hold on. I was gonna say I used a PC. For a long time, and there are things about the PC that I miss that when I'm using the Mac, I'm like, man, I just enjoyed this about the PC better. Well, I'm not using my Mac.
He really likes that he can X out on the right side instead of the left.
Now that was a thing in the beginning.
It is.
But now when I switch back, now I'm like, why is this stupid thing on the right side? Because it just goes to show that we get comfortable. Like change is just not fun for anyone, no matter what it is. As simple as exiting on the right versus on the left, like it makes you uncomfortable.
Well, they sat around the boardroom at Apple and go, you know what we're gonna do, guys? I have an idea. We're gonna put the closeout button on the left side. And they're like,
genius.
Yeah.
That's going to set us apart.
Yeah.
My one biggest hang up with all the systems is they refuse to allow them to be compatible with each other. And that drives me nuts.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
but also though, a lot of the things refuse to be compatible with Mac. Like it's really hard to connect Mac to other products.
That's what I'm saying. They should all connect.
They should. I thought you were talking about just like how the PC doesn't connect as well as like the Mac does. But there are good things about a PC and Mac, and you can for what the job that we do. It doesn't require much. You can use a PC. However, a Mac will last longer and is a superior machine.
And what I'll 100%. Say is if you're getting into any business like art or real estate or music, because I made this mistake. I use this program called Digital Performer 8 in my music software because the guy that told me he would help me, he's like, if you get the one that I use, I can help you with it. I'm like, that makes total sense. Well, he never helped me. Yeah. And then there was like zero support for this platform online. So then I ended up switching to Logic, which is another, and there's millions of videos on how-tos. So I think that's probably what you want to do. If you're committed to a real estate coach that you're gonna be spending time with, I would probably try to get on the systems that they're using. Yeah. So that they know what you're using.
That's a good point, because I was talking to a team lead yesterday and we were literally talking about Apple versus Android, and she buys Zillow Flex leads or whatever, Zillow leads for her team. And because one of her team members has an Android, she gets a 3 to 5 second delay. I don't know if this is completely true.
I've heard
it. I've heard it.
And it's like a 3 to 5 second delay. So she doesn't get as many leads as everybody else.
Wow.
And I
told you.
Wow. Wow. I was like, just get an iPhone then.
That's pretty wild.
So,
Well, if you want the leads, I guess, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Or
but
just
I
bank
guess
on
it
people
just
not taking them.
well, it just depends on your business, I think, too, and how you operate. Because being organized is probably most important. If you're super organized, it doesn't matter if you have a Mac, an Android, a PC, or a piece of paper.
Well-
Just be organized.
Well, we'll get into all the different technologies and softwares that you can get out there. However, I would say just know, like what Brooke just said, to be a successful agent, you can carry your entire office with you everywhere you go. All you need is a phone. Honestly, you can probably get by with just a phone. Now,
Unless you're writing a contract.
You can't submit for review on Dot Loop on your phone.
Yes, you can.
You can. You're going to show me how to do that.
Okay.
You can, and so it's a little more inconvenient, but you could get by with just a phone. But I recommend you need a minimum a phone, a computer, and some sort of
pad and
paper to take notes, to make your to-do list. But if your calendar can be on is technology based.
Well, you can do your to-do list on your phone.
Right.
I do that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you sure can. Which is why that's why I said you could really get by these days with just your phone.
And that's why I love Apple, because I do have a Mac and an iPad and an iPhone, and I use my iPad as my pad and note. And I used to be I loved yellow pad and pen and paper. But then as real estate, we move so fast. You've got to. And so I need things to be simple and easy and flow, and I need everything to look the same. I need to log into my phone, and then if I put it on a to-do list on my iPad, it's connected to my phone. And you can do that too with Android and stuff like that too. But that's why I like it, because it's all the same.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's speaking of like your office, people are always like, where do you sit? Like if they come in here, where's your office? I'm like, it's right here. It's wherever I am sitting.
Casey's holding up his hand for those of you listening.
That's my backpack.
Yeah.
My backpack.
Yeah, that's your whole office. Yeah.
It is. And it's like, because the first offer I wrote was on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And
where was I?
I have a feeling you were with me, or you were on the phone with me.
Something.
It was your sister's house.
I remember we met up.
It was your sister's house.
It was that house? Okay. Yeah.
The one she bought?
Yeah, it had to be the one that she bought.
She still own that?
Does she?
Better. Because I didn't sell it.
No, you would have sold it because... no, I think she does still own that one. The one that we did sell was the one that had the mold stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Yeah. But yeah, so your office is where you are, and it's interesting. It's like not just the technology side of things, but I've had someone recently ask me, they're like, so we're going to meet today because they're new. We're going to meet. What should I wear and what should I bring with me? And I'm just like, I'm going to tell you this one time. Bring everything you need to write a contract and dress as if you feel comfortable showing and selling a house in.
I love that.
I don't need to answer that question every time people meet, but you should already be thinking that. You should be thinking about that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. I had a conversation with another agent just this week, and she was talking about writing up an offer, and she was like at the gym. And she goes, of course, all this is happening is while I'm at the gym. I guess I need to start bringing my laptop.
What do you think happens to us?
I said, 100%. I said, real estate is life.
That
now you carry that everywhere you go.
Or
you can write a contract
wait till you go home.
It's hard,
but it is so hard. So hard. So much easier just to have a laptop or even an iPad and just pull it up real quick.
And we're saying it's hard for people who can write a contract in 10 minutes or less.
Yeah.
So if you're brand new, I mean, writing a contract on your phone it's going to take you.
If you're brand new, you need a
forever.
laptop. Don't do an iPad
or your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, what would you guys say? Aside from the essentials. The essential of having a computer and a phone, what other pieces of technology are important that are going to help someone in their real estate career that you would say should be essential for a realtor?
CRM.
Well, yes, so software.
Yeah.
Software.
Yeah.
Well, software means a lot of things.
Right.
What's software specifically?
Well, you need need a transaction software to do your transactions in, so you don't have to drive to people's houses.
So e-signature,
E-signatures, DocuSign.
and preferably if you can keep it all in a central spot, potentially that's better, because a lot of people opt to use the free softwares that are available, and that's fine. It slows you down because you have to go from platform to platform and upload and download and move things around. Whereas if you just pay for a service that has it all in one place, and you can set up transaction and coordination type services, and you can manage it all in one spot, send it off for signature, build it all in the same location, even better.
Right.
I think people are just intimidated by it. People love the old school. People love pen and paper, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to get across to people, technology is it's inevitable. It's coming. It's changing. It's not going to change everything the way we do, but it is going to make a big impact. And so taking some time and learning certain pieces of technology, that's there to help you,
right,
and to help you differentiate yourself between the business.
It's gonna help you be more efficient, quicker, so that you can spend more of your time, prospecting, doing money-making activities.
Right.
It's probably the number one
Meeting
thing
people.
that all agents dislike to do is busy work and paperwork, right? But it's so important. And if there's something that I don't like to do, but it's important, then I'm going to find a way to make it fast and simple. With technology.
You have to. I mean, I think the thing that people have to understand is, if you want to make 6 figures or more, or 200,000 or more in this business, like you have to be efficient.
Yeah.
You can't be the guys like, when I get back to my office, I'll look that up for you. I'm putting a showing agreement together right now because someone texted me or called me right before we started, and they want to see a house today. And turns out the only time I have is 11, and fortunately they can do it. But thankful to technology, I've already set up the showing and got it confirmed.
And while you're on this podcast, being recording in the background.
Right. And that's funny because
It's a decent one.
it's not bad.
Man, yeah.
They'll pay a bill or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just got to be ready, and you got to be efficient. And my thing is too, like, humans are very forgetful, and the busier you are, the more opportunities you have to forget things.
Yeah.
And so I start thinking, oh my God, I'm losing it. It's like, no, I'm just really busy.
Yes.
And so,
And that happens a lot in real estate.
right. So I just like to get things done.
Yes.
Well, and that's why it's important to have your notepad. I don't care if it's pen and paper or if you're using an iPad. Jot down whenever you say, "Oh, I got to do this." Don't just say, "I got to do this" and put it in your memory bank.
Yes.
Write it down, because it's going to decrease your stress levels as well, because you're going to say, "Oh, I'll get that done," and you put it in your memory bank. It's not that much. It's just one thing. And then 5 minutes go, "Oh, I got to do this too." Now you got 2 things that you got to remember to do. And then all of a sudden you got a handful of things you got to remember to do, and you start getting stressed out because you feel like you're so busy.
Yes.
But as soon as you write it down and you can visualize what you have to do, you're like, oh, you can prioritize what's more important and what needs to get done today versus what can wait until the next day, and your stress will be a lot.
Yeah,
and everyone talks about in real estate how they have ADHD, right? It's like a funny joke. I just say realtor brain now, and I even say I didn't know I had ADHD until I became a real estate agent. But really, it's not ADHD. That's just part of the job. Because if you're out there talking to lots of people, it moves fast. And so technology wise, like, again, when I used to be the pen and paper yellow notepad person, I had to find something else, because I also, like Curtis just said, I love trusting my brain, because my brain I have this weird thing where I remember the dumbest things sometimes, and I'll remember them for years.
Well, that's completely different than that's long-term memory versus short-term.
Correct. But with real estate, it moves so fast, my brain couldn't keep up anymore. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
that's what
had
happened
to
to
have
me.
something on the go. So the little reminders on my iPhone that now connects to my Mac and my iPad is a game changer. So 'cause it's always that catch-all stuff.
Yeah.
I've had agents say to me, like, they will remind me about a transaction that they've already kind of got my help on, but they know that I probably have helped 10 other transactions since the last time I spoke to them. And as soon as they start talking, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, so
Yep.
the one with this, and this," and they're like, "Gosh, like, you have such a good memory. I don't know how you keep track of all of it. And I used to be like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm pretty good. And then all of a sudden, like that only happened for like a couple years, and now all of a sudden it's like
now you have too much.
Now it's and now I'm just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I have to start writing things down because I just get forgetful. I mean, it's so bad that I will start responding to a text message.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm halfway through, and then all of a sudden another text will come through, or someone will say, "Hey, can you help me with real quick?" Sure.
And then 2 days later,
I put it down. And it's been a couple weeks before, and I'm like, oh crap! I had a text halfway. Like they messaged me again, and I realized I never.
And you pull it up, and you see it sitting there.
Yeah, and I'm like, and you know, of course they're not going to believe you. Sure, you had something typed up. You know, you just didn't want to respond. You know, but it's
I always feel dumb when I send that. Like, so I meant to send this later. I'm like, they totally think I'm lying, but I'm being real.
Yeah.
I'll even like pull up my phone, like text myself a reminder, or put a reminder in my phone.
Yeah.
And then as I get through my code, I'm like, oh man, what was that?
Yes.
And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, it was important.
I almost wish there was a setting that would, if I'm on my phone and I'm texting, it would not give me another notification.
Because that's a good idea.
That's the ADHD. It's just squirrel.
Yeah.
You got it. Oh, I just read it. Or I'll start responding with the message that I just read, even though that's not who I'm responding to.
Yeah, and I think with technology too, I think it's important to, now this is kind of a personality thing too, but like I think it's important to keep your systems clean and organized.
Yes.
Keep your folders organized, know how to access your files.
Just to do it.
Yeah, don't keep unnecessary things. Like you don't need to keep copies of your contracts on your computer because they're in your paperwork sharing software. And so like you don't need to double that stuff up. You want to me, like I don't want to see 500 messages on my text message that I haven't cleared out.
Nope.
I pretty much keep them clear except for those 3 that I cannot find.
That's like the best way to keep yourself not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have days where it's like overwhelming, but then you're also going to have days where you can go through everything and be done.
Yeah.
And
I may not even get to it. Like it may be a text message and I read it, but then I put on my reminder, like, text Jacob with Home Connects Lending. That may be something I need to do.
I wonder if we can get one of their sponsors.
It was a nice plug.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Jacob.
What about AI? Because that is like a huge topic right now.
Be very careful with it, though.
Even when I went to, when did I go to Vegas for that convention? A couple months ago, I went to a big national convention in Vegas, and that was a big topic because they're coming out with like an insane amount of AI stuff. Like I learned about so much there, and I was into it, and then I was like, wait a minute. I don't really need that. I mean, it's a good tool to understand, but I didn't want to like waste my brain power into everything.
I mean, there's some really awesome products, and there's some national coaches that some of our agents have been connected with that have these like major seminars and courses around like all the different AI products and software that you can use. And I feel like that you can go back to like the squirrel thing where it's like you can get like sucked into like looking at every different thing and trying to figure all of it out, but there's only like a select few things that are really going to make a difference for you, at least right now. As it develops and advances, I do think that people who end up using AI are going to, it's going to go back to, they're going to be more efficient. They're going to be faster with things. They're going to be able to differentiate themselves. They're going to look, more professional. I mean, there's just going to be so many different things for people who use it, and people who are afraid of it, like taking jobs and stuff. I just think it's not going to take jobs. It's going to be people who use AI for their jobs, at least in our industry, are like going to surpass or do better than people who shy away from it and don't use it. But to your point, yes, you got to be careful.
Well, and now,
what I meant by that is like if you have it write the description for your property and you don't read it word for word and it does you dirty.
Well,
Yeah, I knew
it's,
that's what you- I knew that's
it's
what you were
artificial intelligence. You still need human intelligence. You need HI to take care of your AI, I guess. But
Yeah, you do.
But seriously, well, some people, like you just said, they do Chat GPT and they think it's easy, but no, you still have to know and understand how to ask Chat
prompts,
GPT
like what
a
to do.
certain question and put it in the same tone, personality, what words you want to use, expressions. I mean, there's a lot that you got to go into that, but AI in general, it's such a trendy product right now. Everybody's trying to get into it. So there's,
Yeah.
of course, thousands of different things that's out there.
And at the end of the
now. So
day-
it's kind of like Chat GPT is the big one, I think, as a real estate agent. Knowing and how to understand and use that is so powerful.
Yeah.
That alone.
Well, and how much money are you willing to spend a month on all that? Too? It's like that's what people don't understand. Is every time you see like, oh, this makes your life easier, it's another $20, another $60 a year.
Yes.
And it's like I don't want to spend $200-300 a month on apps.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly like going through, and I'm thankful for the free trials because it's like you go use it and you're like, I mean, okay, but I'm not paying $20 a month for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
there's
thing.
usually workarounds.
It
and stuff
better
you can do
make
to
your life
it still.
easier.
Yeah. I think learning how to use it and what areas that I think everyone is different, and so everyone
Absolutely.
should use it so you should take your areas that you're weak in and use it for that. I mean, and I wouldn't even say that's a general rule of thumb across the board, because you could be a fantastic communicator and someone who's great at English and can write the best descriptions on the planet. Well, if you can do that, then you probably will have some of the best prompts to give Chat GPT.
Yes.
So you should still
That's a good point.
you should still utilize it for your descriptions, for your emails, because it's going to and then read through it and change it to fit like how you want it to read and fit your personality and things like that. But it's going to save you so much time getting that foundation, that long email, the long description, whatever it is. It's still going to save you time. So use it for the areas that you are weak, but also consider it in for the areas that you are strong in, for if it can save you time.
Yes.
Makes sense?
Yeah,
Agreed.
it does.
Okay, well, thank you guys for listening.
You can't drop these mics.
I know, I don't want to.
mean,
Plus, they're
could.
too expensive.
And there's weights on them.
Yeah. So
Okay, well, any other technology? I mean, I know there's tons of things out there. I mean, here's a
let's
simple one.
Let's talk about the way that technology has changed the way people see properties,
That's a good one.
or maybe the way
No, that is a
we
good one. 'cause-
predicted coming in the future too.
Well, especially specifically, I mean, I'm sure everyone moves across states, but Oklahoma specific, we're a very cheap market. So we have a lot of influx of a lot of people moving from out of state coming to us for that, especially with tech jobs that are arising and people are staying and working at home and stuff. I think we use it a lot. Like Jennifer Hubbard was really good at it, and she uses things like Marco Polo, and it's like a recorded where they can go through and do a virtual tour for them, and then they can go back and watch it.
Yeah. No, that's good.
No,
Well,
I think that's going to be huge going forward. Is like using technology for faceless transactions is kind of what I say, like virtual tours and things like that. I think people still are going to want to like a majority of the population is going to want to lay their eyes on properties
Yes.
and see them. However, as us old folk here, we have to remember
He's
that
talking about himself.
yeah, well, we're all about the same age. But the generation below us, they grew up in a world where they are so used to not talking to each other. They're so used to they grew up in social media. They grew up, we didn't have it until, at least for me, I didn't have it until college. And so people who grew up with it for their whole lives, text messages, being able to communicate through all the different technologies and software, like that generation eventually will be in the market to purchase real estate. And I think they're going to have no problem purchasing a home without going and looking at it.
Man, I don't know, but we'll see. But what I also know is I don't feel like sellers will ever, when they have the personal belongings, will ever just let someone tromp through their house.
That's going to be the next thing.
Unrepresented.
Because where the technology is also going is the lockboxes, where you can find eventually there will be I believe there will be a secure way to give people, access to your home potentially. Maybe, you, in order to sign up, you go through this little background check, and then you're able to go and look at products.
The buyers won't want to do that. They'll feel like they're being interrogated. They don't want to give up their information. So my point
there's
of that,
always going to be some people.
Yeah, my point of that is
there will be
like
adopters that adopt it, and once they prove that it's fine and it works, that's where we have to adapt and transform and make sure that we are finding ways to utilize that technology to protect our industry.
Right.
Yeah, because it's still a relationship building industry. So no matter what, you can build a relationship with somebody if you're talking to them on the phone and gaining them trust and helping them through the whole process of even if they go see the house.
Well, aside from that, even if let's say 20% of the market becomes this not a relationship transaction where they're it's kind of like Rocket Mortgage for lending. It's they're fine with just quick, fast, easy, do it on my own. I can just get someone and just get what I need. People who once that's available for purchasing a home, where we will come in and still have to, and can make a difference is going to be, they still need someone to help them with the contract to make sure that they are protected, that it's written correctly, that they aren't going to lose their earnest money, to make sure that they're not buying a property that they're going to have to throw tens and 20s and thousands of dollars into it. And it'll still be emotional because it's a large purchase and people care about their money.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy what the technology's done in a short amount, in half a century. It's because and the values change and people still can't let it go. For realtors, they're realtors don't do anything anymore because we find our own houses. And it's congratulations, you have Zillow. That's not hard. You didn't do anything hard. Now, now it's you can pull up a Google map and you can say, oh, look at these parks and look at this pond over here. This pond is behind this house. How cool. We'll back up to that.
Yeah.
Well, before, your agent had to know that, and that's what provided them values. Hey, look, if we walk around these trees over here, there's a giant pond with a bunch of fish in it. It's
well, because people didn't have Google Maps back then.
Exactly. So you had to rely on your realtor for everything, and at one point, they didn't even really know what the houses looked like.
Yeah.
They had to rely on what their agent told them.
Or what was available. I mean, agents didn't even
know how to get there.
They had to go to the courthouse to get all the listings, and I couldn't imagine what it was like as an agent back then. But as you said, the value it changes with what technology offers, and so we are just adapting to what the industry has made available to us, and we're using it in a way to make us more efficient so that we can provide the best value and best services to our clients.
There also wasn't fraud and stuff like there is now. So the values have just shifted.
Yeah.
Because you just didn't get, all those spam emails and trying to get all your money and your wiring info. And so I would tend to say we're just as valuable today as we ever have been.
Absolutely. Because there's a lot to navigate, and people just they don't know what they don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and something that we always have to remind ourselves is that perception is reality, and so the perception out there is we open doors and put signs in yards, and we get paid thousands of dollars just to do that.
And you know how hard those two things are sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Whenever there's a drought and you can't get the sign in the yard, and then people's stupid deadbolts don't work, or they don't even have a key.
And then you got to find all the light switches.
Yeah, but
we've never had a key to our house. You have to crawl through the back window in the basement. It's excuse me? I have to do what?
Well, that just made the commission
there went your nice
an extra percent.
That's right.
But no, I mean that's the perception, and people think that that's all we do. And my response to that is, if that's all that we do, then why
would do it.
Well, then why there's two big things I say. Why is there a 90% fail rate? Like 9 out of 10 people who try to just, open doors and put signs in yards. Why?
It's hard.
Why can't they do it? Right? Why do they fail? 9 out of 10 fail. Okay. The second thing is, there are people who try to do this without agents.
Mm-hmm.
They try to put their own sign in the yard. And some people will say, well, yeah, but we don't have if we could just put it on the MLS like you guys, well, there are people who put a sign in the yard and they put it on the MLS and they still don't sell their house.
Because it's more than just taking pictures and putting it on.
It's a lot. They don't know. A lot of people, they just don't know how to list their house the right way, at least the most effective way to get the biggest
conversation.
And that comes from experience. You can't just read an article and go, oh, yeah, I can list my own house. Well, and I can't say that you can't, because you can, and it does work. People do it. But I think the statistic is like 80% for sale by owners end up listing,
and then most of the time they're leaving money on the table when you
or they get sued.
Well, I don't get why they say they don't realize that 87% of real estate agents fail. First off, that went through school, got their license and everything.
They'll have an answer for it though. Oh, it's because it's saturated. I mean, they got people have an answer for everything.
Well, I mean, 80% of small businesses also fail. So I'll bring that up too. So,
well, I think that agents, I think some people get into it because they have that percent. Oh, I just got to stick a sign in the yard and open houses and I'm going to make thousands of dollars. So yeah, I'll go get my license. So to an extent, I do think there's low barriers to entry and it is oversaturated with people. There's lack of training. There's all that. But
yes,
a lot of people, they get into it with the wrong mindset, the wrong attitude. They don't know what it takes to make it work.
Because this is hard.
Yeah.
It's dealing with people's emotions. I used to manage probably 700 to 800 people at a time, but I didn't have to deal with their emotions because I just told them what to do. But in real estate, you can't do that. You tell people what to do, and then they may not listen to you, or they may dislike you for it, or they take their emotions and then their friend said that, and there's no way to control that sometimes, and that's what makes it hard.
I've had people say, well, what about, there's a lot of social workers that have a lot of emotional stuff to deal with and they don't get paid very well. And I'm like, well, they chose the wrong emotional business to be in.
Yeah. Dude, I would never want to do
there's
that.
A choice.
No, and that's really tough.
There's money in real estate. There's not as much money in.
It shows you what people will put up for a guarantee or what they think is a guarantee anyway.
Yeah.
Social work too, I mean, is really, really tough because a lot of those people don't want to change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so in real estate, they may get mad at you, but they may learn their lesson and then they realize they'll
get over it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a different market. There's a supply and demand of housing and there's a value to it. And there's a lot of money tied to it. And there are a lot of businesses that are built around it. And so it's just different. It's at different industries, different products. So, you get paid based on the supply and demand and the amount of money that's available in it. So
if you're a social worker, Books Real Estate Academy, $49.99 a month.
Another great plug.
That's right.
Get your real estate license, and you can still help those people and make a little bit more money.
And there's people out there listening to this going, all we need is another realtor.
Right.
And it's like, that's not true because what we need is better ones.
I agree
and
with
so the thing is, this is just how the world operates. Like in anything that's competitive, it's like no one's going to stop you if you want something.
No.
So just another realtor, like there's a 10% chance they'll even make it in the industry past 5 years.
Yeah.
So
those other realtors, what you just said, and them getting better, that's what I feel like the 87% fail rate is not just a fail rate. That's to me like how much people didn't get educated or mentored or coached or whatever. And those 87% of realtors sometimes make us look bad because we know how to do our job and do it properly.
Yeah,
a lot of time.
And a lot of times, we'll get them and I'm their second realtor and they're like, man, I just learned so much and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I feel bad for the other agents that.
Yeah. And then you'll have agents
setup.
on our pages going, we need to get these bad agents out of the business. It's like, okay, well, go get rid of them all. But you know what's going to happen is there's going to be someone to take their place because that's how this works.
Oh, yeah, because right now the big thing, it's been like this all year, especially the NAR settlement, people talking about all these realtors getting out of the business and da-da-da-da-da. but they have not. They don't post about how many people are getting into the business right now, because it's actually been a very high influx in Oklahoma, anyway.
Yeah, the net loss. There's been a net loss, but it has not been the numbers that everyone was predicting last year with the settlement. They're like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose half the agents. I'm like,
I think we do that every year and replace it with another half.
Yeah, right. Well, and it's because what the problem is that you got people who hate the 9-to-5 grind. They don't like their job, and they're looking how to do their own type of thing and spend more time with their family. How can I have more control over my life and make more money? They look at real estate and like, oh, I can show houses, I can put signs in yards, and then they see, how much money do you make, Casey, doing this? Oh my gosh, sign me up,
right?
Know? And then they go get signed up, and they don't do any other research beyond how much money you can make, and the actual they don't look at the actual job, and they don't look at how much money it takes to get started in starting your own as an independent contractor, a self-employed individual. And so now when they get started, they have like several $1,000s of expenses, and now they're getting in their head of like, oh my gosh, like I just spent all this money, I don't even know if I like this. And so then they realize how hard it is, and there's so many different things, and we have a podcast out about even that, but I don't even know what the point I was making. So
you were just going on.
Well, yeah, we were just talking about people getting into. We're off the technology side, but but that's okay. I mean, it's basically just we were talking about. It's not just that easy to get in, and there's always going to be new faces and always new people to train, always new technologies to learn, and I think that's kind of the point of all of this is like, especially being a realtor is, it's like when you're at a job and they're like, guess what, guys? We're going to unroll our new software next month, so you have to relearn everything. And the whole company's like, no.
Yep.
But they don't have a choice in it. But like, I think for us, we do have a choice in it. So we can either learn the things to make our life easier, or we can still drive to everyone's house and get signatures. Or, oh man, I missed one initial, so I got to drive an hour to Guthrie to go get an initial, and then drive to the office to scan it.
Yes.
And it's just like, just learn .live.
Well, and it's like, you got to be okay with change. If you're a real estate agent, be okay with change. So many people out there
at all times,
they hate change. I made it a point in my life to love change, because it's inevitable.
That's where you learn.
It's going to happen. So just, instead of hating it, just accept it. Like, it's just part of it.
People who adopt and with the times and change are the ones who are going to still be around. And I know people who have made their entire life's wealth based off of moments of change in industries.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just, embrace it. Look at what's happening and look for ways to don't get complacent with what you do, and like say like a lot of people are like, well, this is how we always have done it, so this is how we're going to do it. And we get agents that join our brokerage all the time, and they teach us things on how they did it at their brokerage, and sometimes it's like, actually, yeah, you know what, that's a good idea. We need to change to that.
Mm-hmm.
And we should constantly be looking for ways to improve our systems, our software, what we're offering, what we're providing. I remember somebody made the argument to me once about their brokerage, and it's so awesome because their system never changes and you always know what it's going to be. And it's like, well, as long as the change doesn't make it worse for you, and it improves your business and helps you to make more income, then wouldn't you want the change? And the change would be good. So it's like, I fail to see your point in that. So change is a good thing. Embrace it if you have it.
Yeah, that's where the opportunity comes from.
If you're not good at change, I'm not saying like, because again, the perception, like even when I went to the conference, I was like, oh my gosh, there's all this AI stuff. And then I was like, time out. Just swallow it one pill at a time.
Yeah.
You guys still have businesses and stuff to run, but it should be part of your routine every day. Make it where you learn something new, even a tiny aspect. If you don't have a CRM yet, that's probably the biggest technology personally that I would say that people need to get. But just learn a little thing about it at a time every day or even once a week. You don't have to take on the change, because usually when change happens, it's not immediate. So it's all these people talking about all these flashy things, and some people may use it, but it's okay. Take some time and just learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And then you can read the book. Then you can read the book called The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell.
That's a very good book.
It talks about, how something isn't very relevant until all of a sudden one day it's taken over.
I can't stand that book.
I really like
Never
that
read it.
author.
Yes, I have.
No.
Yes, I have. I actually have that book. And I'm just kidding. The only reason I said
was
this
like,
because I haven't reached. When's my tip gonna happen, man? My tipping point.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah,
come on.
no, I think about that too.
Well, he's a great author. I
he's
really love him.
great.
He's my
yeah.
favorite. He's my favorite by
Because
far.
The Outliers is his first book or whatever, and he actually has several other ones that now I want to read all of them. But yeah, he just observes everything and just takes. It's crazy how just tiny little simple things change a whole trajectory.
Yeah.
Like a perfect example was, because I just read this book, so I remember, but the New York City subway. It used to be terrible and full of crime because there was graffiti everywhere. And graffiti brought a bunch of crime and stuff like that. So New York just took tiny little changes to start cleaning up their graffiti. And now it's so much safer. Well, I'm sure it's probably not, but it's much safer than what it was.
Yeah.
Just by something so little, it changed something. It was like one of the historical worst places to be. And now it's not like that anymore.
Well, I think it's like cell phones are a perfect example, because before there were cell phones, or when they're first ones, they're huge, they're very expensive.
I miss Snake.
No one could. Yeah. Well, I'm talking about before that.
Yeah.
The mobile phone that had a box and still had a cord to it and all that.
It was like a backpack.
So only like certain people could afford it. It didn't make sense for everyone to use it until one day it got to the point where enough people started buying them, and they started, being able to invest more into the technology, and they built this up, and then bam, all of a sudden everyone has a cell phone and everyone plays Snake while they're working or at school. I was champion.
I was going to say something I forgot. Oh, but for those of you who, before you guys make a comment in the comment section, I was kidding about the tipping point.
Oh, we know, Curtis.
No, I know you know.
Oh, I didn't know.
You should have, because I did say I was joking.
I was like, I knew.
That's a dead
I just
giveaway.
know there's going to be people like, oh my gosh, that's a great book.
Well,
It is a good book.
good thing Casey and I
His
talked
books-
highly of it.
his books are
Casey
good.
and I earned fans today.
Yeah, that's right. His books are good for
It's typical.
like
That's how it goes.
broad mindsets.
Yes.
Like really big picture, worldly
Yes. He talks about like
thoughts.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just appreciate it. It's
It's
a really
good.
good book.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Malcolm Gladwell.
Free sponsorship.
Just comment, dude, and I'll feel victorious on the
That's
inside.
all you have to do. Maybe even subscribe.
Just subscribe.
That
It's a
would be
great
it.
great podcast.
That'd be
Thanks for
it.
mentioning me. I'm working on my next book. I'll mention you in it.
and
Give you credit for all the things I
Yeah,
learned.
that's right.
from
Yeah.
this-
Be the
from
first
this
one to read
podcast.
it.
Like, yeah.
He learned so much.
If we got any comment like that, I would feel great, because this is the end of the podcast where it's like we're making this. So that means he listened to the whole thing.
He did.
Thanks, Malcolm. Malcolm, what a good guy.
I'm going to be friends with him one day and be like, you should listen to this episode before we knew you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just manifesting
Okay.
big reality later because of all of you wonderful followers that we have.
We're blessed.
All right. Anything else on technology?
Nope.
I'm sure there is, but I
It's
think we.
it's yet to be determined.
Okay, well, Casey.
Oh,
you wanna
well,
close
all
this
right.
out?
Yeah.
Are we gonna do Would You Rather?
Yeah. So,
Oh gosh, his eyes just got so big. That's
Sounds like
scary.
he has one.
I'm gonna make it up on the spot, but I have an idea. Would you rather continuously learn new technologies to advance and better your life and your daily experiences,
I knew this is where
or
this
would
was
you
going.
rather go back to the way things were before you had the internet?
I knew this is
Technology.
where it was going, and I'm like, this is not a good one because, of course, technology.
I don't know, dude. Part of me kind of likes the old way too.
But you would choose to go back to that.
Yeah, dude. I'll write a letter and send it on a pigeon. It's fine.
I mean, I will say,
Stupid.
if everyone had to do that, it makes it It's like sometimes it's simpler, but I would. Pick
I need
technology.
I like air conditioning. I like toilets. I like modern day conveniences. But sorry, before I forget, this would be hilarious. If you're literally sending a letter on a pigeon, your clients are like, tell them that I'll offer $275, and then like 3 minutes later they're like, no, wait, tell them that I'll offer $280, and you're like, dude, I just sent the pigeon.
I know.
Like,
give me another bird.
It's going to be like 3 weeks before we hear back.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, why don't we get Elon Musk to make us a pigeon, the little robot pigeon, because he has robot dogs that I saw a video. I don't know if it's real, but
I saw the karate
pigeons,
robots.
Well, forget the pigeon.
And then I'll use chat AI and then put it into some software that creates the thing for me, and then they have their own pigeons and send
forget pigeons. Like we'll just use his rockets, little tiny rockets that you put the message in and.
No, we gotta keep the old school with the new technology. So
I kind of like it.
Well, how about just make the pigeon a mini rocket?
Just imagine we go back to living in a castle, but everything's like the horses are robots. You're like,
I would
right?
love to live in a castle.
Be cool. They're
It'd be
still
so
out there.
cool.
You can buy one with all that money you make.
No, there's a ton. There's like some very affordable ones in Spain and Italy right now that are badass.
Let's do it.
My wife would want to go back just so she could wear big hats.
I could see that.
Yeah.
just because. But would she want to wear a corset?
So that they're. I don't think that, but just big hats. She would want to make it. She would want it to be acceptable to walk around and have a big hat on.
I love showers and I love toilets, and I love lamp. No, but seriously, like even something was like a toilet and a shower, like that's technology that created those things.
Oh,
and it helps your business for sure.
And you know what's funny about it? Some flush right and some flush left, just like Mac is on the left and PC's on the right.
Yeah, there's some third world countries that don't even have a right or left side of the road. They all just drive wherever.
Well, it depends where you're at too.
It's absolute chaos.
Do you guys think we lost everyone at this point?
No. I think we just got them in.
I think Casey just needs to end it.
Okay, all right. We're signing off. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know if there's something you want us to talk about. And we'll, we read every comment and respond. So
hey, if you want to be a guest, if you're in real estate and you have some
that's good.
Let us know. We'd love to get some guests on here.
Okay, well, signing off. I'm Casey Tudor. This is Curtis Haddock and Brooke Massey.